Hello, everyone. So, today I get the opportunity to come and visit you guys from Trinity Library, all the way in Dublin, Ireland. The wonders of green screen. I wanted to come and talk to you about writing on writing days on Mondays from some pretty spectacular libraries for a few reasons. And one is to remember that no matter what, if you work your butt off, at some point your book will be in a place like this. I mean, look at this thing. Oh my God, it's huge and gorgeous and echoey, and I want to be there in real life in the flesh because it's amazing. Um, so, yes, I'm not going to embarrass myself by trying to do an Irish accent, though. We won't go there. So, this weekend I did all of the good things for Alice and the Person. I got outside, I went for a 5 mile hike, I ate good food, I drank water, I got enough sleep, and I read some. So that puts me in a place on a Monday where I should be writing. Guess what I'm not doing right now? But I will be. Later this afternoon, I'm going to be doing some editing on the cookbook because I'm in a good place to do that, and it's yay, the right thing to be doing. But I wanted to talk about ideas and planning and how you can get to a finished product. But even before that, how to get to a product, even an unfinished one. So there are some tools that are useful for some people. I generally have these wonderful ideas that I come up with, and I make a zillion notes, and then I just follow the notes through and I have fun with it that way. That does not work for most writers. From what I have heard in talking to others who write, this is very unorganized and unorthodox, and it doesn't work for the majority of people. So, I wanted to talk about what it is that actual authors really do. And maybe I'm making fun here and I'm not actually an author, but I know I am, but it's hard sometimes to kind of believe you are, even when you've got the book in your hand. I don't know. Um, so when you start thinking about writing a novel, whether it is a fictional or non-fictional, doesn't really matter. You want to start with research, and that research is going to include a whole bunch of different things. It's going to include outlining, some brainstorming, taking notes, which is what I do. If you're going fictional, you're going to need character sketches, and those can be, I mean, if you happen to be an artistic person, you can draw them. I'm not. My character sketches look kind of like stick figures if I'm having a good day. So I write verbal sketches, and that's okay. I will do a verbal description of somebody because that's what works for me. Um, you may, with nonfiction books, especially like with the cookbook, I actually came up with the chapter headings in advance to help me lay out what I wanted to do. Um, for fictional work, you can look at scenes and how you move from scene to scene and kind of the main areas. And that research ends with something called world building, which is if you're writing a one off novel, okay, and I'll admit, Bloodstone, when I first wrote it, was originally supposed to be a one off novel. Originally, all those characters were supposed to die at the end. They rebelled. It was not my fault, okay? I am blameless in this. Anyway, so we have worlds to build. And so when you're building worlds, you want to look at all sorts of different things. I started out with the Taylor Mage novels knowing that the world was largely very Earth like. Okay, it had the same gravity, same science. It has more magic in it, though. So I had to outline what those types of magic were. How did they work? What happens? What special magics can vampires do? Are there magics that other people can do? Or can humans do magic? That kind of thing. And you want to list out as much of that as you can. Obviously, you're not going to get everything before you start to write, or most people don't, but you write out as much of it as you can. And then as you're writing the book, as things come to you, as oh, well, I've just written up this new power for my vampires. Oop, stick that in my world building file so that I have access to that information so that everything that I do in my book actually turns out to be internally consistent. like I said, when you're just doing one off, that's not such a big deal. When you start writing series or things that might turn into games or movies or anything like that, you really need to be internally consistent, because people like me will read your stuff, and if it's not internally consistent, I will judge you silently from this side of the page. And I keep that in mind with my readers too. I've talked before about there being different parts of the book, but the most simple way to split them apart is beginning, middle, and end. Okay? The beginning is your opening scene where you want to put in your hook. Some of the most famous openings are very simple ones. Let me see if I can find it. Beanstalk. Sorry, I didn't load this one up beforehand. So this is the one that always comes up when I'm talking about a grip, something that hooks you right from the beginning. The opening words to the book Friday by Robert Heinlein. As I left the Kenya Beanstalk capsule, he was right on my heels. He followed me through the door leading to Customs, Health, and Immigration. As the door contracted behind him, I killed him. I have never liked riding the Beanstalk. My distaste was full-blown even before the disaster to the Quito skyhook. A cable that goes up into the sky with nothing to hold it up smells too much of magic. But the only other way to reach L5 takes too long and costs too much. My orders and expense account did not cover it. Bam! First paragraph. You have a dead body. That's a heck of a grip. Not everybody wants to start with a dead body, but whatever you choose, it should be that gripping and that unique. You want to set up who your characters are. What do they look like? If that's important, because it may not be. As an example, there's a book, and I cannot remember for the life of me the name of it, but it has a blind character. Everything in the book is described as smells and sounds and touches. There's no physical descriptions. Okay? So look at what are your characters doing? How would they describe things? Usually there's an incident at the beginning. Okay? The Kenya Beanstalk murder. In Alex's thing, it's being with her boyfriend and seeing him die. Okay? And that call to action. What is it that motivates your character or your book to get up and do something? The middle part is where you kind of follow through. There's a choice, there's rising action, sometimes there's a reversal, disaster happens, there's a turning point, and sometimes there's like it will build up and then drop a bit and then build up and there's the big climax. So it's kind of like a little bit at a time. So you might have that demi-climax to begin with, and you can write that in. The end, you try to resolve the resolvable things. With Alex, I left some things unanswered because I wanted to write another book that answered those questions and presented more. But I answered the questions that were central to the storyline of the book, because otherwise you don't have a finish to your book and you want to have that finish. And so using one of the writer's templates that are available out there, you can actually have a plotting template to follow, and it will tell you kind of what thing comes next. Please understand that I don't believe these are things you should use on every single story, nor do I believe that you should take the template, write your story to the template, and then leave it there, because that's not going to work. Okay? It's just not. You have to use the template to do the writing, and then go back and smooth out the edges so that you end up with a story and not just a template with words in it. So there's something called the Story Beats template, which was you can get it in Evernote, and there's a couple of other places you can get it, and it's based on a book about a cat. I don't know. I've never actually read the book it's based on, so there's something called a Spark template, which is done with Microsoft Word and Apple Pages and things like that. There's the Pulp template, which is another template that was used for fiction and some kinds of literary nonfiction. And then there's a whole bunch of others, and there's even one called a 30-chapter novel template. If you look up online, do a search for writing plan template authors, you will get Scads of these things. How to plot a novel, story planner template, novel writing templates, plot factory, the 24 chapter plot outline, free fiction writing, how to outline your novel, the master guide with a template. There's a zillion of them out there, and you do not need to have um, a specific one. Find one that works for you. That template might help you through the rough spots. A lot of times when I'm writing, I find that the story sort of unfolds as I'm going along. And so I don't actually need to look at the template, but a lot of times I'll stick one up on the wall, and if I get stuck, I can look and go, "Oh, I'm supposed to have rising action here. That means I should have something, I should light a fire somewhere." It kind of gives you something that you can work from if you get stuck. Um, so yeah, that's where we're at today. I hope that you are still writing. Whether you're writing poetry, fiction, nonfiction, working on the great American novel, writing a biography, an autobiography, I don't care. Write something. Go out and write. Come to the dark side. We have banana muffins. Um, I think you'll enjoy working with templates even if you don't use them part and parcel. It's okay to pull what you need out of it and throw the rest away. And if it brings you joy, please use them. And if not, do a Marie Kondo and dump them. I'm not going to yell at you. You should find what works for you. This is just one tip on how to move forward. All right, I think I'm going to let you guys go. I hope you have a great week. It has been a good weekend for me. I'm not really sure what's happening with the snow. I'm sorry for saying the four-letter word. I hang my head in shame. Um, but I am glad that we did get one warm day on the weekend, and I'm hoping to get more in very soon, near future, because I'm all done with this snow and really cold stuff thing. Yeah. I have a new tent coming and I want to get out in it. And I know it's just in the backyard right now, but that's better than nothing. Besides which, that's going to be my little writer's haven. I'm going to be able to go and write in the woods like Walden. Woo! I love you guys, and I will catch up with you sometime this week. I don't know if I'll do one every day, but I do want to get out the tunic videos this week. So I'm hoping to finish that up. Love you guys. I'll see you next week, okay? Don't forget to subscribe.